Hey, what's up guys? It's Claudio here, and today's video is 2 for 1. The first part is the Green Mountain Stage Race, Stage 4, the Criterium in the rain. Super sketchy, fun to watch. And then afterwards, I'm gonna post the last few minutes of my ramp test, my most recent one off Trainerroad, so you guys can see the gains that I've been making in quarantine. If you guys are interested in following my workouts, post them on the Instagram stories, Claudio_Fierro. So check it out, follow along, and let's get right to it. All right, so this is the Criterium Green Mountain Stage Race, and this is terrifying. I was so scared going into this race because of the rain. I've never raced in the rain. And this is the 4-5 field open. So we have juniors in there, we have people in their 20s or 30s. They have psychos like me trying to race with, like, you know, no real experience here in this kind of setting. So not only was I afraid just for my skills, but also afraid of, you know, everybody else, because I'm sure they were all really nervous as well. And some people just didn't show up. Some people in the other categories, they were just doing maybe a couple laps and then getting pulled, but not being really competitive about it. It doesn't look that bad in the video here. This is a neutral lap, by the way. But trust me, it was sketchy. Just watching the other races, I was trembling going into this. So we get the neutral lap. This is stage 4. The day before was like the most terrifying stage, the worst thing I've ever done climbing wise. I don't know what, I don't remember the stats, and this was in September of 2019, but it was like the hardest thing. I got dropped in the first KOM, and then I was riding by myself for like 2.5 hours. It sucked, but I survived it. I finished it, and I got to stage 4. And by the way, I'm last in the GC right now. So we're coming up on the first on the start of the race, and it already started. This is an uphill here, and people are already hammering it. And you can see doing 600 watts up this straightaway. And this is where I cook my legs every single lap. Okay. Now, I know what everyone's gonna say, dude, you're not really drafting. Like, I know, and there's no way that I'm getting close to anybody on this race. As you can see right there, I just, you know, pulled the brakes back. There's no way that I'm getting 6 inches from the wheel in front of me. I was like so scared of you know, rear-ending somebody, and people were slamming their brakes at every turn. It was really just terrifying. Afterwards, I didn't feel like it was that hard, but in the moment, I was so afraid. If you've never ridden in the rain, it's just, you don't know. Like, people were dropping their tire pressure, and I was like, what do you mean? Like, why are you doing that? And like, no, it's gonna help you with the traction, and I didn't even know that. So then I let like a little bit of air out of my tires. I guess that helped. I hoped it did. So all these things, I mean, I'm just so inexperienced. And I told myself that I wanted to hang on as long as possible to the front group. And look at that, I'm kind of a little bit aggressive. I'm trying to race here, you know? I'm not just giving up. There's a whole pack of people behind me that were not being very aggressive, so they didn't make the front group. But I was hammering it to the best of my ability, and already my heart rate is 172. My FTP at this time was around 225. So not very strong compared to where I am now, which is like 265. Big difference back there in September. And I was already hurting right here, lap 3. And I'm like just barely hanging on. I'm not in the draft. Every turn I have to, you know, surge to stay up, to keep up with the people in front of me. And you can see the speed is not very high. Again, this is the 4-5 field, and people are not they're not going to be very aggressive, especially in the rain, especially in this kind of field with this kind of level of experience. Not everybody has raced in the rain if you're a 4 or 5. So this is a downhill that takes you up to the uphill. And again, 600 watts. And this burned, I could only do so much, especially back then of this effort, like 10 seconds at 600 watts and then coming down. Because that's really what it takes. As you can see, I'm down at 300 and I can't keep up. You have to do on this straightaway 600 for 10 seconds every lap. And that burns a hole in my quads. This is kind of the recovery section, and you see the gap behind me is huge. Like I can't see anybody back there. So that's the front group in front of me that is leaving me. And there's a whole chase group behind. Already 4 laps in, and yeah, I only survived 8 laps before they pulled me. I'm getting gapped. I'm hurting. I'm not confident at all. And I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that maybe I could still catch them because I don't have to brake during the turns, right? But then I get caught by the chase group. And I think this is the yellow jersey guy who didn't make the front group. So I think he was out. He was out. He never made the front group. So now I'm on his wheel and I'm trying to just stay in there. This guy's strong, and he's gonna try to bridge. And here I'm trying to stay on his wheel, and you can see he start hammering it. I am also trying, but I can only do so much. And then he gaps me a little bit here, and that's it for that. I mean, the kind of fitness that you gotta have for this. And by the way, this is at the end of the stage race, so I was already cooked. I was done. Like, this is it. This is all I can do. I'm getting passed by the chase group, and I can't hang on to anybody. I'm done. I'll try to post some of the stats of the stage race to see how much climbing we did. But I was a wreck, and I didn't train for this stage race more than a month, because I signed up for it a month before, and you can't really train for this kind of a thing in 1 month. Of course, I've been training before then, but for this kind of endurance, you need a lot of a base for this, for the whole stage. Like I said, I finished last in the GC. That's how inexperienced I am, or I was in September, and I didn't know anything about stage racing. I was just like, okay, this is a cool race. Let's check it out. Like that's pretty much my attitude for all races. It's like, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, yeah, I could crash, but I'm not gonna crash. I want to give it a shot. I want to see what it's like. I want to see. I want to check out all the stages and the roads and all the routes, so that next year I can come back and really give it a shot. So people are flicking their elbows here. There's another mini chase group. People were already getting pulled out, and they were being really particular about keeping people inside of the race because it's the rain and dangerous. So they were pulling people out almost every lap. If you weren't in some kind of a chase group, front group, or chase group, then you're getting pulled out. So overall, the stage race, I made a whole video about it. I'll post it in the description. You guys can see all the different stages and everything. It was a ton of fun. A lot of really serious riders, and there were just a lot of people there. Some really strong juniors, people my age, just all over the place. And it was great to see people get so competitive, but it was a good vibe, right? It wasn't, there were no bad vibes here at this whole stage race, and it was produced very well. Okay, closed down the roads. They had like a whole team of people following you, the wheel support. So here I'm dropped. I'm just like, I'm doing nothing here. It's kind of game over. I'm waiting for them to pull me out. There's people behind me still. I forgot what place I finished, but I finished, at least in this stage, I finished like kind of in the middle-ish. I wasn't like dead last, like the other stages. So I was kind of happy about that. I just had the guts to go at the beginning and hammer it and try to be with the front group. I guess that was the right attitude. I just didn't have the watts, the fitness to hang out up there. But at this point, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna crash out. It's fine. Let's just ride it out. And I get into this group, and we try to just finish out the last few laps. I'm sure they're gonna pull me. I really hope, that we can do this race again this year. I know things are all locked down, and they haven't officially canceled it. I'd be surprised if they actually have it. But it is in September, Labor Day weekend. They might. I have no idea. But I'm definitely training for it. I'm assuming that it is happening, and I'm doing Trainerroad. All their plans. I just finished the sweet spot base, the high volume. Now I just started the general build, high volume, and after that I'm going to go into the specialty phase of either the climbing race or the rolling hills race program. So it's getting hard, and the high volume, these high volume plans, man, they're like 10 hours a week, but it's still, if you're not used to that, it's pretty intense, because you're riding 6 days a week, and some of these workouts are 2 hours on the trainer. If you're not used to doing 2 hours on the trainer, it's a big mental challenge just sitting there for 2 hours. And then long rides, I've been doing on Sunday, my long rides, I got it up to 3.5 hours on the trainer, which is insane. If you've ever done more than 2 hours on a trainer, it'll just blow your mind. I'm talking about endurance. Like for me, that's like averaging 175 watts. But for 3.5 hours, that's intense. It hurts. It starts to hurt like around 2.5 hours. But that's how you build base. It's one of the ways. And I got to get used to that, especially doing stage races. You need that kind of volume, or you're going to fall apart. And then the third stage, I totally fell apart. I just couldn't. I didn't have the fitness. I didn't have the base. I didn't have the muscular endurance. I ended up stopping. Like on the last climb, I had to like stop. Also didn't have the right gearing. I was spinning at like 30 RPM. But anyways, that's the end of this race, this stage for me. I survived. It was exciting. It was terrifying. This is when they pull us out. I survived 8 laps. Not bad, I guess. It just goes to show, don't be afraid of the rain, but still be cautious if you don't know what you're doing. And now, let's get into the FTP. All right, so we are in Trainerroad. This was my current FTP was 265, so you just saw that. Now I'm going above my FTP. So this is some serious work here. And I'm at 160 pounds right now, which is not really my racing weight. My racing weight is around 155, maybe even close to 150 if I can get there for a climbing race. But it's getting hard for me to keep my weight down as I get older. I've noticed that. It's like a thing. Like you can't, you just gain weight, and then to take it off, it takes more work, a lot more work. I never thought that I would get to that. It would be hard to keep weight off, especially, cycling as much as I do, but you have to think about nutrition. You have to really pay attention to it, do some research. Anyways, I'm getting here at 296 watts. I'm definitely doing some work. I realized after doing so many of these RAM tests that if I can get to the 19th minute, if I can get past like 19 and a half, and definitely if I can get into the 20th minute, then I have made some gains on my FTP, like a few watts. So my goal is getting into the 19th minute no matter what. Just get into it. I'm in the 15th minute and I'm hurting, but I can handle it. So 19th minute, my goal is to get into the 20th minute. And my cadence is, it's okay right now. And then if, ideally 95 would be the best, above 90. But lately my cadence has been struggling. I've been struggling to keep it in the 90s in all of my workouts. I got to work on that. And just spin it out. It helps you fatigue less in your legs, but it does kind of max out your heart rate faster. So again, I'm doing Trainerroad, the general build. I just started it, and it is quite hard. We're doing, some threshold intervals. Today's workout is over-unders, which are really painful. But I'm sticking with it. It's kind of like the only thing that I'm doing in quarantine is like if I just do that one thing, and that one thing a day is my cycling workout. If I can get through that, I've done enough for the day, because it is a lot of work. I mean, you do an hour and a half of intense training, 2 hours, and you will feel very accomplished, especially in quarantine. So that's my focus. That's what I'm getting through. It's getting me through the quarantine situation. I'm unemployed. I work in the wedding industry, and that's clearly not happening these days. So I'm sitting around training. I post all my workouts on my Instagram, Claudio_Fierro. Check that out. Follow along. And let's see what else. My Whoop band is going really well. I look at my sleep a lot and analyze it and realize that I'm not getting enough sleep. I'm getting 5 hours when I think I'm getting 8, which is insane. To think that you're actually getting sleep and then you wake up and you only actually got 5.5 hours, and then you wonder why you're so tired all day, and that's why. So that's been really helpful. And also it's been helpful to not overtrain, to not push myself when it tells me that I haven't recovered properly. So I do dial things back here and there. Some of the endurance rides that I do, I just knocked, it'll be like an hour and a half. Last night I had an hour and a half endurance. I knocked it down to an hour just to, because I wasn't really fully recovered and I could feel it in my legs, and my Whoop band also told me to chill out a little bit. So I did, and hopefully today's workout will be much better. So I'm struggling here. My cadence is in the 70s. That's not good. I'm just grinding my way through it. I'm using just pure muscle, right? But I bring it back up. I'm in the 19th minute. This is hell. This is anybody that's made it into the 19th minute. It's like you're suffering. You don't know how you made it that far. And my goal is just to survive this minute. You can see that I'm struggling. Okay, 190 BPM on the heart rate. I'm pretty much maxed out here. And my cadence, I'm trying to keep it up, but I realize at this point that I'm just gonna have to grind it out. It's just a pure grind. My head is down. I know at this point that I can make it to 20. The question is, can I go past it? But usually when things are bumped up like this, if your cadence is not high, you're going down. And that's it for me. I just couldn't. Cadence was too low, and let's see what the results are. 4 watts. I was pissed off. I wanted to hit 270. 4 watts in 4 weeks. In 4 weeks, I'll take it. Nothing wrong with that. I did have a sick week in there. I thought I had the virus, but I didn't. I just got some kind of cold. So that's pretty good. I'm hoping to make some more gains. Hopefully I won't get sick, and I'll be able to do this next block really smoothly. So I got up to 269. Guys, my first FTP test ever 2 years and 9 months ago was 168. So I just made a 100-watt gain on my FTP from 168 to 269 in 2.5, almost 3 years of cycling. So it is possible to make gains. I never thought I would get this strong. And my next goal is getting up to 4 watts per kilo, which is right around the corner for me. It's like around 280 watts, 285 maybe at this weight. So let's see if I can get that within by the end of the summer. And then the next goal is going to be 300, baby. All right, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the subscribers. I'll keep you guys posted. I'll see you on the internet. Peace.